Hello and welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Trisa Hutchinson, Doctor of Occupational Therapy, and today I'm going to talk to you about group fitness in memory care. I'm going to share with you, after 5 years of practice, how I took my memory care exercise group that was boring with our seated yellow TheraBand routine that didn't do anything to help my older adults into my favorite class to teach every single week, the one that gets people excited to bring their loved one to our memory care where I work. Today, we're going to dive into 4 different categories on how to level up your fitness class. We're going to talk about first setup and equipment. Then we're going to dive into how do you maintain attention to task when you're working with older adults who have advanced stage dementia in a memory care setting. Then I'm going to share with you what kinds of exercises, types, and reps and sets that I'm doing with these folks. And then we're going to wrap it up with some clinical pearls on how to just take your class to the next level. A few things that aren't necessarily exercise related, but they make a really big difference in making your class the go-to, the one that everyone wants to bring their loved one with dementia to. So let's dive in first by talking about setup and equipment. When we're talking about setup, I need you to find a space that is very minimally distracting. Ideally, this is a space that's pretty large. There's not external noises. There's not people that are walking up and down the hallways side to side. There's not TVs. And if there are TVs, you can turn them off. And also, you're in control of all of the noise that's in the room. So again, if there's a TV, can you turn it off? Can you turn the volume down? Is there a radio playing but you can turn it off? So minimally distracting space. I also need a chair for every single person in your group. Not because people who have dementia need to be doing chair exercises. Rather, a chair acts as a home base for an individual with dementia. When you're trying to gather people down and bring them to an exercise class, or you're trying to keep them focused on one thing, having a spot where it's their, again, home base, where they can sit down and they know that they're in the right spot, that's exactly where they need to be, can really help with resetting and refocusing your group. So I need a chair for every member. And then I want you to set those chairs up in a circle so that every person in that group can see you. You're not in the center of the circle, rather you are a part of that circle. Our folks with dementia get easily distracted by anyone that's walking by or any open space if they feel a little bit uncomfortable or unsure. So when we have a circle as our center focus, they know that they're in the right place and all of their attention is directed towards the group. So minimally distracting space, making sure we're in a circle and you are a part of that group with everyone having their own chair. I need you to make sure that you can get a set of dumbbells for every individual in your group. You might have to go to thrift stores. You might have to check out garage sales. You could just send an email or a memo to all of the families or coworkers asking if they have those 3, 5, 8, 10-pound dumbbells laying around in their house. And if so, bring them in and donate them to your exercise group. When we're working with people who have advanced stage dementia or middle to late stage, this is not a time where we're going to be passing weights back and forth or taking turns. That's going to be too distracting and too dividing of their attention to figure out what's going on. Rather, everyone's going to get their own set of weights so that we can do the same thing all together. So figuring out a way everyone can have their own weights. Next, I need you to figure out a way or get a speaker or some sort of music device where you can be in control of music to control the energy and the vibes in the room. When you're talking about this, I don't want a device that is like an Alexa or some sort of device like that where you ask it to just play a random playlist. Rather, I need you to come up with a playlist that is relevant to the eras of your individuals. In our area, I have a lot of people who are farmers in our group and they love country western music. They love like Johnny Cash. And so I've curated a playlist that has quite a few songs of his. I also have one woman in class who loves like Elvis Presley and songs from him. So I've got a few in my playlist from them too. If you're curious of like, oh my gosh, so where do I start with this? I have linked the playlist that I currently use with my exercise group in the description of this podcast. So feel free to click on that, check it out. If you have any songs you want to add or anything like that, do your thing, but just so you have a place to start. But you need to be able to control the music volume up, volume down, and what song that you are playing. And then when we're talking setup and equipment, Another key component of your setup and equipment is another person. So you are the lead of this group, which is awesome, but you need another person to help manage the extras. So if someone needs a drink of water, if someone starts getting up and walking away from the group, or they need to go to the bathroom, you need another person to help manage all of the extras. So in our crew, we have an activities person that helps with that. We also have care specialists that know when exercise is going on. And so as a result, they are there and they know if they need to help someone. So also if maybe another member of your group comes in and we have a really big crew and we didn't have enough chairs that day, someone else is going to go get the chair. Because if you stop doing your job as the lead of the group, the entire group stops. So you need to maintain your job, your role as leader of the group, and you need a support person to be ready to help with, again, all of the extras. So setup and equipment. Now we're going to move forward and we're going to talk about how the heck do we maintain attention to task when you were working with a large group of individuals with middle to late stage dementia. I have a lot of people ask me, how many people are in your group? I will tell you, on a very small class day, we'll have 7 to 8. I've had up to 17 to 19 folks with middle to late stage dementia in my exercise class. Yes, a majority of them are in walkers. Some of them are also in wheelchairs. They are all at different levels between middle and late stage dementia. And this exercise class has been successful for all of them. So how do I do it? How do I maintain attention to task? Well, first of all, give yourself some grace, because occasionally it's going to be distracting. Someone's going to walk by or someone's going to say something and your group's going to get a little off kilter. That's okay. That is why you have your chair for your home base. If that happens where your group's a little kind of in the weeds at the moment, I'm going to have you ask everyone to sit down in their chair, take a 3 deep breaths or do a stretch. Or one that I do to kind of recenter focus is reaching my arms up above my head and then touching the floor, above my head and touching the floor. And those movements where everyone can see visually what they should be doing a little bit easier with larger gross motor movements helps bring everyone back together. So figuring out one exercise like that, I highly recommend hands up high, hands down low, and repeat about 5 to 10 times as just a refocus. I also use this when I'm starting the class to center them before we get into our other exercises. So that's a great way to just kind of kick it off strong. From there, I want you to remember you need to give whatever energy that you want to get back. This is a time to get silly, have fun, be smiling, bubbly, excited, happy to see everybody, because that's how you want them to feel. They're going to feed directly off the energy that you provide. So I'm bubbly, I'm silly, I'm dancing, I'm smiling, I'm welcoming everyone, I'm giving some high fives, I'm giving hugs for some because they come up to me and want a hug because they're so excited to be there. So give the energy that you want to receive. That is going to help you with maintaining attention to task, because people are going to be focused and happy that they are there. We talked about how you need to have some sort of music that you can control. Maintaining attention to task is key in the terms of music. So if you can turn on a song that you know everybody's going to love, then your group will automatically refocus as soon as you start playing that song. So you're going to turn the volume up and you're going to pick a song that's one of their absolute favorites, and you're going to get the group rolling with that. And then you might get the vibes high and then turn the music down, take a big rest break, pause, then pass out your weights, give everyone their pair of dumbbells, and then get going with exercise in terms of resistance training. After you're done with resistance training, or I should say while you're resistance training, no music playing, allowing for really, really focused time here when they're lifting their weights, so that they're not trying to move dumbbells and listen to their favorite song and dance, and it can be really confusing. So while they're exercising, or while they're doing their resistance exercises, rather, you're going to have the music off. Totally off. When you're cueing these exercises, you are thinking about very, very simple cues. Things like up, up, down, down. When we're talking about like a bicep curl to press, we're thinking about if you're doing having someone do like a hang snatch, I do that a lot with my individuals. We go knees, ceiling, knees, ceiling. And I repeat that for every single repetition. If we're doing deadlifts, we're saying butt to the wall, stand up tall, butt to the wall, stand up tall. If that becomes too cumbersome, we just say bend, stand, bend, stand. And I repeat that every single repetition. If you're doing it right, your group likely will join you and pick up on the cues that you're saying, and they will also say them too. So keeping your cues super simple, and don't waste any time explaining the exercise you're going to do. We are not going over body mechanics, points of performance, muscle recruitment, cueing them for different positioning individually. This is a time where if you want them to move, then you are going to demonstrate with the group. So I am going to just start an exercise and I just say, okay, now everybody, let's stand up and we're going to bend, stand, bend, stand. And they're just starting in right with me. You will waste your time if you spend any of that focused energy thinking about or explaining what they should be doing. Rather, you're just going to do it. Now, another key for maintaining attention to task is focusing on the rest periods and giving them something to do during the rest period. This is still group focused, however. So if they're sitting down and taking a break, that can be really like a dead space or dead time where they get bored, or that's when I see like an individual want to like get up and walk away because it's kind of awkward. Like, what should I be doing? They might not understand the principle of needing like a quick rest break, or they might not be tired enough, but someone else in the class is like so thankful that they get a rest break. During those times, having some sort of a nursery rhyme or a riddle or a question of the day that's very simple can be great. We'll ask like, what's your favorite dessert? What's your favorite fruit? I'll start saying a nursery rhyme like Humpty Dumpty, and they will respond, sat on the wall, and we go through all the nursery rhymes. It's excellent. We have someone in the class who is an English professor, and I'll ask her to recite the vowels, and then the whole crew is reciting vowels together. But whatever it is, we're giving them something to keep their focus on the group for those 30 seconds to a minute where they're sitting down. So those are just some clinical pearls or tips and tricks on how to maintain attention to task. Next, when we talk about what types of exercises am I doing with these folks, with these individuals who have dementia, these same exercises that I would recommend for me and you. So we're spending a lot of time dancing. In the playlist, you'll see things like the cha-cha slide. You'll see like Cupid shuffle. I slow it down. You'll see hokey pokey, things like that to get them up, get them moving, get the vibes high. Other exercises, deadlifts, press, snatches, squats, you name it. If you don't know how to modify these exercises for older adults, check out our older adult live course. We dive in and give a ton of examples of just how to do this. So highly recommend checking that track out and checking out that live course, because you will become the master at how to figure out how to scale all of these exercises for your folks. They should not spend the majority of their time sitting down. They need to be up and moving just like yourself and myself too. When we're talking about reps and sets, I recommend having lower reps, higher sets, because this will also trail into maintaining attention to task. I would recommend doing 5 to 8 reps and then taking a quick break, doing another 5 to 8, taking a quick break. Otherwise, some of your individuals may feel like they're getting overwhelmed with so many reps. You still might do 5 to 8 sets of something if it seems like it's easy and they're not using a heavy enough weight. So you need higher volume, but you're going to just break that into a lot of sets so that they can still feel great about that. And lastly, I want to talk about how to give you some clinical pearls that aren't necessarily exercise focused, but level up your group. We're going to talk about a meaningful moment. So take the opportunity while you're setting up the class. If you can have a resident or an individual in your memory care group help you get the chair set up, that's huge. If you can have them help you pass out the weights or put the weights away, that creates an opportunity for them to feel a sense of purpose and a sense of belonging to this group. So give them those opportunities. Give them those opportunities. Do things like remember who has their favorite dumbbells. I've got a woman who loves to use the hot pink dumbbells. I've got a man who loves to use the yellow ones. I've got someone else who likes the blue one. And so just remember those things. Remember who loves a certain song or who loves a certain nursery rhyme and ask them to participate in those things by name. And then also don't be afraid to kind of include your group when you're leading. I've got one lady who used to be a fitness instructor herself. And so I ask her, how many reps should we do this time? And she always picks a good number. And if she doesn't, we'll just kind of modify around it and it'll be just fine. Sometimes I ask her what's next when we're doing a dance routine just to get her involved. So overall, there are so many things that we can do to make our exercise group in memory care extremely successful beyond the seated yellow TheraBand. Get them moving, get them using weights, get them dancing, bring it up to the next level. I want you to remember your keys for setup and equipment, making sure that you're being intentional about maintaining attention to task, using exercises that you would use for yourself, just modified at a different rate or a different level. And then keep those key meaningful moments at the front of your mind when you're planning what you can do to make your group just a little bit greater than everybody else. Have a great day, and I hope that you level up your group fitness class in memory care.